Have you ever felt like something was off about her but couldn't explain it? Like there's a storm behind those sweet smiles, something darker, colder, hidden just beneath the surface? If you've ever questioned her intentions, this video is for you. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button and like the video to keep more Stoic truth coming your way. And trust me, watch this video till the very end, because what you're about to learn could change your entire love life and protect your soul from the wrong kind of woman. The Emperor and the Mask. Marcus Aurelius sat at the edge of the battlefield, not of war but of life. The greatest enemy, he once wrote, is not the soldier charging with a sword. It is the person smiling with poison in her words. He had met women of charm, elegance, and unmatched beauty. But beauty was never what Marcus feared. It was deception. A gentle voice hiding a vicious tongue. Compassion masking control. One evening, after a bitter betrayal in his court, Marcus scribbled something in his journal that still resonates across time. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. So too with the people you let into your soul. This is your warning, because an evil woman doesn't ruin you overnight. She infects your thinking, erodes your peace, and makes you question your worth, until there's nothing left but confusion. Let's explore the 7 evident signs. You might be dealing with such a woman, backed by Stoic wisdom, and shadowed by the very advice Marcus would have given. 1. She weaponizes vulnerability. Have you ever been in love so deep that you felt like you finally found home in someone's eyes? The kind of love that makes you stay up late just to hear her breathing on the phone. The kind where you open your heart fully because she told you her pain and you wanted to be the one who never added to it. If you're nodding right now, I want you to stay with me, because this next part might feel like I'm telling your love story. It started beautifully, didn't it? She was soft, vulnerable. Maybe she told you how much she'd been hurt, how every man before you used her, lied to her, broke her in ways she's still healing from, and in that moment something inside you rose like a tide. You didn't just like her, you wanted to protect her. You thought she deserved someone good, someone like me, and maybe you became that guy, the patient one, the understanding one, the one who stayed even when it hurt a little. But here's where the line gets blurry. Suddenly, every time you voiced your own pain, she reminded you of hers. Every boundary you tried to set, she made you feel guilty for it. I thought you were different. After everything I told you, you're going to act like this? And just like that, her vulnerability became a weapon. Let's pause here. Tell me honestly, have you ever stayed silent about your needs because you didn't want to be another guy who hurt her? Have you ever apologized? Not because you were wrong, but because she cried and you didn't know what else to do? Marcus Aurelius said, "Don't be overheard complaining, not even to yourself." But what happens when she complains for 2 and leaves no room for your voice? This is how it begins, my friend. She doesn't yell. She doesn't rage. She wraps manipulation in softness. She tells you she's broken, then uses those cracks to control how you treat her. That is not healing. That is emotional blackmail. It's important to understand vulnerability. Real vulnerability is a bridge. It brings people together. But when someone uses their pain as a shield to avoid accountability, or worse, as a tool to make you feel like the villain when you're not, that's not love. That's control. And here's the scary part. You don't even realize it's happening, because you think you're helping her heal, but you're not her therapist. You're her partner. And you deserve peace too. So think back to your own love story. Was there a time you felt like you weren't allowed to be hurt? Because her pain always came first? Was there a moment you started walking on eggshells? Not because you were cruel, but because you cared too much? That's not how love should feel. A woman's past doesn't give her the right to punish your present. You can love her. You can support her. But if her vulnerability is used to silence your needs, then it's time to stop calling that love. And remember this, the one who truly loves you won't make you carry both of your hearts alone, or she tests you through chaos. Do you remember the early days of your love story? When every text from her gave you a rush in your chest? When just hearing her laugh made you believe you'd finally found your person? She felt like a beautiful mystery. The way she looked at you, the sudden affection, the way she said you were different. But slowly, that mystery became confusion. And that confusion became chaos. If this feels familiar, you're not alone. In fact, this might be your story. Let me take you back. One week she's obsessed with you. texting constantly, planning dates, falling asleep on the phone together, and then silence. She vanishes, doesn't reply for hours or days, and when you ask what's wrong, nothing. I just needed space. But a day later she's back again, smiling, sweet, as if nothing happened. You're relieved because you missed her. You thought maybe you did something wrong, but you didn't, did you? And then it happens again. Out of nowhere, she picks a fight. Over something small. Something ridiculous. You try to stay calm, but she twists your words, raises her voice, storms off, leaves you in pieces. And just when you're about to walk away, she returns, crying, apologizing. I just get scared of losing you. Sound familiar? Let me tell you what's really happening. This isn't romance. It's a test. A psychological test wrapped in passion. She wants to see how far she can push you, how much chaos you'll accept. Because if you stay, you've passed her test. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. But when you're with a woman like this, she is the outside event. She creates the storm and then watches to see if you'll still hold the umbrella over her. Tell me honestly, have you ever found yourself anxiously checking your phone, waiting for her to come back after a fight you didn't start? Have you ever apologized? Just to keep the peace even though deep down you knew you weren't wrong? That's not love. That's emotional chaos. And the woman creating it isn't confused, she's controlling. She wants to keep you spinning. Because a man who's spinning never stands still long enough to see clearly. You start to doubt yourself. You begin thinking this is just how love is. But it's not. True love doesn't play games. It doesn't run hot and cold. It doesn't test your loyalty through drama and disappearances. Real love feels steady, safe, warm. So if your love story feels more like a roller coaster than a partnership, ask yourself this. Are you being loved or are you being trained? And remember this. A woman who truly wants to build with you won't keep breaking you just to see if you'll stay. 3. Her morality is conditional. Have you ever loved someone who talked a big game about loyalty, honesty, and respect? But when the moment came to show it, she vanished behind excuses. If you've been there, then this part might hurt. Because this isn't just a warning, it's a mirror. And you might see your story in it. Let me take you back. She told you from the beginning, I'm not like other girls. She had this glow, this confidence in her values. She talked about how much integrity matters. I hate liars. I could never cheat. I just want something real. And you believed her. Why wouldn't you? She sounded so clear, so certain, so principled. But then the cracks started showing. Remember when she lied about that small thing? Maybe where she was, who she was with. Something tiny, but something you felt. And when you gently asked about it, she got defensive. Why are you being paranoid? I just didn't want to upset you. It wasn't about the lie, it was the principle. But somehow you were made to feel guilty for even bringing it up. Or maybe she told you loyalty was everything. Yet kept texting an ex because they're just a friend. Do you see the pattern? Her morality only applied when it was comfortable for her. She called out your mistakes immediately. But hers, she had a story, a reason, a you should understand moment for every single one. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." But what about when the woman next to you isn't living the virtues she claims to hold? Tell me honestly, have you ever felt like you were walking on moral eggshells? Like you were expected to be the perfect man? While she broke her own rules guilt-free? That's what this sign is about. Because real morality doesn't shift with emotion. It doesn't fade when it's inconvenient. A woman whose integrity is real will honor it even when no one's watching. But a woman whose morality is conditional, she uses it as leverage, as a shield, as a weapon. She'll say she wants a good man, but only if that goodness serves her desires. She'll demand truth, but hide hers. She'll preach values, but violate them when the spotlight's off. And here's the worst part. You start to question your own values. You wonder if you're being too rigid, too intense, too dramatic for caring so much about what's right. But you're not. You're just waking up to the truth. If love makes you betray your own code, it's not love. It's manipulation dressed in moral language. So if you've ever felt like you're in a relationship where the rules only apply to you, then this sign was written on your story. And remember, a woman who truly respects virtue lives it even when it costs her. 4. She is obsessed with control. Have you ever been in a relationship where Slowly, without even realizing it, you stopped being you. Think about it. Did you used to laugh louder? Did you used to text your friends more? Did you used to say no without fear? And now you hesitate. You double-check. You ask for permission without even knowing when that started. If this stirs something in you, I want you to keep watching, because this sign might be the turning point of your own love story. It starts small, always small. She wants to know who you're texting. Then she questions why you liked someone's photo. Then she doesn't want you hanging out with certain friends, not because she's controlling, because she cares. And you believe it, because in the beginning it feels flattering. You think she just really loves me. She's just afraid to lose me. But love based on fear isn't love. It's possession. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." And when a woman is obsessed with control, her thoughts are soaked in fear, insecurity, and the need to dominate everything around her, including you. Let's go deeper. Do you remember when you started changing the way you spoke? You stopped being fully honest because you didn't want to start a fight. You stopped going out with your friends because she made you feel guilty for it. You started living in a tiny emotional box, and the worst part? You called it love. That's what control does. It rewrites the story of your life. In her handwriting. She might not scream. She might not demand. But she'll give you that silent treatment. That look, that passive-aggressive sigh that makes you feel like you messed up even when you didn't. Tell me this. Have you ever felt like you're constantly managing her moods? Walking on eggshells? Trying to predict how she'll react just so you can avoid a storm? That's not partnership. That's emotional imprisonment. And here's the twist. She'll tell everyone how supportive you are, how lucky she is to have someone like you. But behind closed doors, she chips away at your independence. Little by little, you disappear, and she becomes the main character in a story that used to be yours. A healthy woman doesn't need to control you. She wants to connect with you. But an evil woman? She wants to own you, your time, your thoughts, your energy. Because when she has control, she feels safe. And when she doesn't, she panics, manipulates, and punishes. So ask yourself, are you in love? Or are you under management? And remember, the moment you stop feeling free in love is the moment you start losing yourself. 5. Her love is performative. Do you remember the first time she made you feel seen? Maybe it was the way she looked at you in a crowded room like you were the only man alive. Maybe it was the little notes, the Instagram posts, the hand-holding, the long, soul-stirring messages about how different you were from the rest. You felt like the luckiest man in the world, didn't you? But let me ask again. Did it ever feel like her love only showed up when someone else was watching? Did she love louder when there were eyes on you? But go cold the moment the curtain dropped. If that rings a bell, this part of the story might feel a little too familiar. Let's rewind. In public, she was everything, affectionate, proud, praising you like a queen honoring her king. Her friends thought she adored you. Your family thought you struck gold. On social media, she posted pictures with captions like, "My rock, my forever." But at home, in private, suddenly she was distant, unavailable. She ignored your needs. She dismissed your emotions. And when you brought it up, she looked at you like you were crazy. What more do you want from me? I tell the world how amazing you are. That's the trick. Her love wasn't for you. It was for the audience. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." But what happens when the woman next to you is a master of image and you're just part of the image? See, a performative woman doesn't love from the soul. She performs love from the surface. She knows what looks like love. She knows the words, the gestures, the grand displays. But the real stuff, being present when you're broken, holding space for your truth, loving you when it's not convenient, that's where she disappears. Tell me this. Have you ever felt more loved in a photo than in person? Have you ever watched her tell others how perfect your relationship is, while you were silently suffering inside it? That's not love, brother. That's theater. And here's the dangerous part. You start doubting your own pain, because the world sees a happy couple, so you wonder if you're the problem. You think maybe I'm just hard to love, maybe I'm too sensitive, but deep down you know the truth. You don't want a love that performs. You want a love that shows up. The kind that holds your hand when no one's looking. The kind that says, I see you even when you feel invisible. So if your story feels more like a show, it's time to close the curtain. And remember this, a woman who truly loves you doesn't need an audience. She just needs your heart. She competes with you, not supports you. Have you ever shared a personal win, a moment of pride with the woman you loved, and instead of celebrating with you, she went silent? Or worse, she made it about herself? If you have, then you already know what this sign feels like. Let's go back to the early days. Remember when you told her your goals? You spoke with passion. Maybe it was about your business, your career, your dreams of building something powerful. She looked at you eyes wide, smiling like she believed in you more than you believed in yourself. You thought, she's the one, my teammate, my ride or die. But then things started to shift. You got a promotion, and instead of excitement, she changed the subject. You started working harder, and she accused you of not having time for her. You hit a goal, and she brought up how she hadn't gotten what she deserved yet. And that pride you used to feel, it started turning into guilt. Why? Because deep down, her love was never about rising with you. It was about staying above you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Don't waste time worrying about what others do. Just do the right thing." But it's hard when the one person who should be in your corner keeps trying to outshine you. See, a good woman celebrates your wins like they're hers, but a woman with darkness in her heart keeps score. She doesn't clap when you grow, because your growth threatens her ego. She doesn't admire your strength, because she needs to feel stronger. Let me ask you, have you ever held back your good news because you didn't want her to feel small? Have you ever found yourself shrinking, just so the woman next to you could feel equal? That's not love. That's rivalry. Real love says, if you shine, I shine too. But an evil woman? She'll watch you shine, then dim the lights just so no one sees you outshine her. And the cost? You start second-guessing yourself. You downplay your talents. You forget that you're allowed to be proud of yourself, without guilt. Brother, let me tell you this. The right woman doesn't feel insecure about your success. She feels inspired by it. She doesn't see a race, she sees a partnership. She doesn't fear your rise, she helps build the ladder. But when you're with a woman who competes with you, you're not in love. You're in a silent war. So ask yourself honestly, has your love made you better, or has it made you smaller? And remember this, a woman who truly loves you will never treat your success like her failure. 7. She uses her past as a weapon. Have you ever tried to love someone who was still bleeding from wounds you didn't cause? And no matter how gentle, how patient, how sincere you were, you always ended up paying the price for someone else's sins? If that feels like your story, then listen closely. This sign might be the one you've been avoiding. You see, it always starts the same way. She opens up to you about her past, slowly, carefully. Maybe she tells you about her ex who lied, cheated, broke her. She says things like, "I've been through a lot. I have trust issues." Or, "I just don't want to get hurt again." And you, being the man you are, you feel honored. You want to be the one who heals her. You say to yourself, I'll never be like them. I'll protect her. I'll prove her wrong about love. But what you don't realize is, her past isn't something she's trying to heal from. It's something she's learning to weaponize. At first, it shows up in little ways. You come home late from work, she accuses you of hiding something. You forget to reply for a few hours, she says, "That's what my ex used to do before he cheated." Every mistake you make, no matter how human, is measured against the pain someone else caused her. And now you're walking on eggshells in a war you didn't start. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If someone does wrong, the harm is to themselves. Your duty is to respond with virtue." But what happens when you're punished? Not for what you've done, but for the ghosts in her mind. Let me ask you, have you ever felt like you're constantly trying to prove you're not like her past? Have you ever said sorry just to keep the peace even when you didn't do anything wrong? That's what happens when a woman uses her trauma as a shield and you become the target. And here's the painful part. At first you'll feel strong. You'll feel like her savior. But over time you'll start to break. Because no matter how much love you give, it will never be enough for someone who hasn't healed. And worse, she'll twist her pain into control. Her past becomes a pass for emotional manipulation, jealousy, suspicion, even cruelty. And every time you try to speak up, she plays the victim.
You don't understand what I've been through.
You're just like the rest. But you're not. You're not the man who hurt her. You're the man who tried to love her and got hurt for it. So here's what I'll leave you with. You are not responsible for healing someone who refuses to stop bleeding on you. You deserve a woman who sees you for you, not through the lens of old pain. So what would Marcus Aurelius do? He wouldn't hate her. He wouldn't seek revenge, but he would remove himself from poison. Marcus believed every person we meet is either a test of our patience or a partner in virtue, and when someone repeatedly tests your peace, they are not your partner. He would say, stand upright, not be held upright. Meaning, choose your spine over your heart. Choose clarity over confusion. Choose yourself over a woman who has already chosen destruction. Bonus Stoic suggestions Marcus Aurelius inspired. Os observe. Don't absorb. Just because she's chaotic doesn't mean you need to be. 2. Detach from the outcome. Love her truly, but don't attach to saving her. 3. Keep your circle virtuous. A bad partner is worse than no partner. 4. Pain is a teacher. If she hurt you, extract the lesson, not the bitterness. 5. Don't react, reflect. Her behavior is hers. Your response is your power. 6. Let go with grace. Walking away doesn't mean weakness. It means wisdom. 7. Return to the inner citadel. No matter what, protect your mind and peace. 8. Don't confuse love with addiction. Needing her is not loving her. 9. Be the man you respect, not the man who begs for her affection. 10. Forgive, but never forget the lesson. Use it to rise. You might be wondering, what if I already love her? What if I'm already in too deep? Then I'll leave you with this. A man drowning in poison doesn't heal by sipping more. He survives by swimming out. Evil doesn't always come with a red face and a loud voice. Sometimes it wears perfume and whispers sweetly, but your soul knows. If this message struck something in you, it's time to look deeper. Trust yourself. Reclaim your peace. And remember, a man who knows himself will never stay where he is, being slowly destroyed. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.